Hey phenoms, I am going to do one more poem. This one is a fairly new one that I wrote maybe a couple of days ago, and I don't have a title for it, so you guys can actually help me come up with a title for it. Okay. I walk into the room and the aroma is filled with an oh so familiar hint of booze. Jack to be exact, and I realize I'm home. He comes stumbling toward me with a look of emptiness in his eyes, and I hide my disappointment with a painted-on smile, and to my surprise, I'm no longer surprised that he's been at it again. The drinking. You see, he made promises just last week to put down a bottle and get back on his feet, but it seems I'm here pouring down the drain a bottle of his Superman's crutch. Trying to face the reality that what used to be is no longer us. And I miss him. He came back from war in 2007. His survival was like a sweet piece of heaven. But the sunshine turned into rain, the pain was regained, and we were left here. You see, it started with the nightmares, waking up with fright scares, shaking and trembling in cold sweats. As he would scream for his life, "Lord, please don't let them take me yet," and holding him like a baby, I brought him back to sleep. Because the therapist said that this was only temporary and the nightmares would not forever be, but then we moved on to the pain. The bullet that was lodged in his left leg to this day still remains. So much pain that on some days, he could barely walk. His verbal abuse was thrown at me every time we talked. And he would pop painkillers like Skittles. Although none of that would work, only the alcohol would ease the hurt. The little girl. I didn't mean to shoot the little girl. You see, when he gets drunk, he talks about her. The color of her coral dress. How the shell from his bullet was accidentally lodged through her chest. The brief memory of her laughter haunts him. In his dreams, he screams, "I'm sorry." But how do I get him to see that accidents happen? And that it's really not his fault. That he was only protecting his country and making sure that by the enemy he was never caught. If only he was sober. I wish that he was sober. I need to see him sober. I say to myself as he reaches for the beer. And I'm knowing that if this doesn't change, our end is coming near. But how do I leave a man who had the best intentions to provide? It's not his fault that his experience in the war took him for a mental ride. Maybe he's had enough to drink. So I pour the remainder of his beer down the sink, but I didn't think that he would get so mad. He shoves me to the kitchen floor. I realize I can't take no more, so I yell out, "I'm leaving." With tears in his eyes, he starts yelling, shouting, and screaming. Now, I've said this to him before, but now the substance behind my words give them meaning. I grab my things, determined to leave. Then with the gun in his hand, he points at me and says, "Without you, there's no me." Then he picks up the bottle and takes one last gulp. He points the gun furiously back and forth between us. And as a look of helplessness rolls across his face, with both feet planted on the ground, I prepared myself for his embrace. But he just put down the gun. He picked up the bottle. He put it to his head and pulled the trigger.